Now, I want to ask you about Sarah Ferguson. Look, this is, of course, Andrew's ex-wife. She's in a world of pain over this. Now, we know from emails that she sent to Epstein that she called him the brother I have always wished for. She said, you are a legend. I really don't have the words to describe my love, gratitude for your generosity and kindness. And then she said, kiss, kiss. I am at your service. Just marry me. Even her daughters, they've been dragged in, including one exchange where an unnamed person mentions Eugenie's shagging weekend in an email to Epstein. I actually feel really sorry for her daughters, I feel like they are just carrying the burden of their embarrassing parents. But Samara, Sarah's now moved to the United Arab Emirates, so she's not making much money, but she's reportedly scouting around for a new PR team to represent her, saying that she wants to return to the UK. But what could she possibly do? That would be the question. If she goes back to the UK, she's an embarrassment. Her reputation's in ruins. So where does it leave her, really?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I've kind of been saying this for a while, but I actually think she's one of the biggest issues for the royal family at the moment, because she, again, similar to Mandelson, knows a lot of information and has nothing to lose. And she's money hungry at the moment. So I think that there will be an opportunistic book deal that potentially comes into play, where she'll be offered an amount of money for a tell-all book. We know that she's she does love something like that she can live off for a little bit. She will reveal certain things. She'll try and paint herself out as the victim, but she'll definitely throw a couple people under the bus. And I think that's what'll happen to Fergie, because we know, most of Andrew's issues stemmed from Fergie's insane lavish lifestyle that she demanded. I mean, the credit card bills, millions of pounds in debt that she found herself in. I mean, the main reason, those very famous paparazzi photos of Epstein and Andrew walking through Central Park in New York, that meeting was revealed to have been Andrew asking for money to pay off Fergie's credit card bills. So I think she should also testify in front of the Congress, and she should absolutely be talking to authorities, because I think she knows a lot too, but she clearly hasn't been sort of caught in the same line of fire as Andrew has. I mean, you're right, her emails are sickly towards Epstein. She loved the lavish lifestyle that he provided, so much so that, yes, I would say she put her daughters, who were not children at the time, but they were young women almost in harm's way, and met up with him after he was convicted of paedophile offences. So Fergie, yes, she's gone over to the Middle East. A lot of people speculate Andrew will also go over to the Middle East. But let's see for them. I think the only saving grace for Fergie is that she was able to sort of have her daughters in a great position to socially mountaineer themselves up, and they've basically married very wealthy people that she could potentially live off. But she's homeless at the moment. She doesn't even have a house. I mean, she's been cut out. The royal family is not protecting her.
No, well, she's self-exiled. I mean, if you're going into the Middle East, you're self-exiling out of sheer embarrassment. And if Andrew joins her, well, gosh, I feel sorry for the UAE. Look, before we let you go, Samara, I want to ask you, where does this leave the monarchy? Is it over for them? Because have a look at this. This was the king getting heckled last week.
Charles, how long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you been protecting Andrew from prosecution?
Yeah, look, it's uncomfortable to see that. It's uncomfortable to watch, but this is not a good look for the monarchy.
It's really bad. Over here in Britain, the economy is in a time of total austerity. People are feeling the real hip pocket of the whole situation. So to hear, just from a public optics perspective, that there's been millions paid out of the at least just out of the royal family in order to cover up Andrew is not boding well with the public at all. And that's not the first heckling that the king king has received, and it certainly won't be the last, unfortunately, for him. But look, I mean, the king had a sort of place to play in this. He did have some sort of implication, in my opinion. I mean, I was just watching an interview with Andrew Lowney again, who's very versed on this, who said that, you know, the king actually did pay into that money pot that was given to Virginia Giuffre, as we spoke about earlier. So if that comes out as true, then who knows what can happen there. Now, people are even saying that, you know, there might potentially be us just skipping on to William just to avoid any of this, because he's at least further enough away from all this drama. But the monarchy, I don't think it's a scandal like this has not hit it for a very, very long time. And the fact that they paid off that alleged victim in order to potentially just make sure that the Queen's birthday celebrations for that year went smoothly just makes me think what actually has been covered up for all these years and what is really going on behind the scenes here.
Yeah, a lot of questions, and we just don't have the answers right now, but maybe we might eventually, should these characters appear at US Congress. We don't know. Samara Gill, it's been a pleasure having you on. I must say, buckle up, because things are about to get worse with these names dropping. Let's see where it ends. Samara, good to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Danica.